Tonight's mechanical tip is on suspension, and it's brought to you by Cruise Tune. I endorse the Cruise Tune product, and so should you.
Hi, I'm David from Cruise Tune. Today we're going to talk about rider sag, which is basically a ratio between the full extended length of the bike and the bike loaded with a rider, and also the bike sitting under its own weight. Now, for the case of the point, this measurement is 630 millimetres, so you should always write that down. Once the rider's on the bike, just make sure that the suspension's settled properly by pressing on the back of the bike a few times. Then what you do is take the second measurement from your same point that you've marked on the guard to the centre of the axle again. Now the third measurement, once again from those same points. In this case, it's 605 millimetres. Record that as well. Now those three measurements are 630 millimetres fully topped out to 530 millimetres with the rider on the bike and 605 millimetres with the bike sitting under its own weight. Now what all that means is you've actually got 530 to 630 for your rider sag, which means you have 100 millimetres of compression with the rider on the motorcycle, and you have 25 millimetres of static sag. Now the rider sag is basically a ratio of the working travel of the bike, which in this case is 300 millimetres. Now the ratio is a third, so if the bike had 300 millimetres, a third of that would be 100 millimetres. So we have the perfect rider sag for this motorcycle. If we had a rider sag of say 500 millimetres as opposed to 530 millimetres, that would mean that we've got too much ride sag. We need to actually pick up the back of the bike to carry extra load. This will entail loosening off the top lock ring on the shock absorber, and you'll actually have to wind down the spring towards the floor, which will pick up your rider sag. Now, alternatively, if you didn't have enough rider sag, say 90 millimetres, you'll actually have to loosen off the compressed length of the spring, which is winding it up towards the seat. Now it needs to be said that these are all just basic setups. Now the Japanese construct a motorcycle thinking of the average. The average rider is a person that probably doesn't exist, so you will have to sort of work with what you got. If your measurements fall outside of what I've told you too far, you'll probably have to think about a heavier or lighter spring. It pays to either refer to your manual or contact somebody who knows about suspension.